Also, I can change this back over to the normal layout, where we are not playing Double Dash. For now, I'm going to turn off the TV, because we aren't going to need it for a few hours. I don't think I ever changed it. No, wow, I haven't changed the game in a while. I don't know. The Secret of the Old Clock. We'll hide the capture card for now. And I will log out. So you can be logged in. And I will set up the capture once you get logged in and stuff.
All right. So, you may have noticed the reading earlier if you were here. I was actually reading some Secret of the Old Clock. I finished the book today, started it just a couple days ago, so that I'd have plenty to talk about. Not that I don't already talk to myself when I practice my speed runs.
You want me to get you some water instead?
That might be nice, thank you.
Alright. Yeah, I'll refill. Do you want to just drink what's in here?
Yeah.
I should refill mine as well. Take this coaster.
This could have been a very interesting hour and a half of close-up if I had reached my 200 by now. But that's probably okay, because I'll have better use of my clicking abilities. Thank you. Thanks, okay. Funny thing though, Secret of the Old Clock. It is the first book in the Nancy Drew series. It was published in 1930, which I didn't realize until just the other day. But the game actually wasn't the first Nancy Drew game to come out. It was the 12th. And it's actually not just based on the Secret of the Old Clock novel, but also partially on The Mystery of Lilac Inn, which is the 4th book, which I just started. I was reading it on stream a little bit ago, but I didn't get very far. I just know that some of the characters and the settings overlap between the two, so they don't follow the exact same plot of any book. None of the games do.
Well, because that'd be lame. You'd know the mystery just from having read the book.
Well, yes. But Secret of the Old Clock, the game, even though it's the 12th in the series, is actually the first one I played. So this is kind of a throwback, blast of the past. And I actually replayed it recently with a friend of mine who also played it when they were a kid. Neither of us had played it in a very long time. So, a recent review and then taking some notes on this, it's... Oh, Steam News. Oh my, there are so many games.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Here we go.
Kind of.
Yes, I learned a lot of things about this game that I didn't realize.
Pardon me.
And I also remembered a lot of things, or was reminded of a lot of things that I had forgotten about. And also learned new things reading the book, so I might be able to share some of those fun facts with you. But we're going to try to do this in under an hour and a half. So.
This back up. Make sure.
Okay. We have the window over here.
Maybe. Did I have to window capture last time?
I don't remember. Maybe.
It's certainly not working. So I'm gonna move that. Fortunately, we're a little bit ahead on schedule.
Which is good.
So we have time for minor things to go wrong. Not Steam. Not that.
That's YouTube.
Darn it. I don't feel like that makes much
showing
sense.
up in place of the webcam. And I am confused now.
Okay, well, I'm gonna remove that.
Ah, it's us again.
Yep. Either.
Hey. I'm ready to solve a mystery. I am sleepy, but I am ready to solve a mystery.
Video games are fun. We. For a specific window.
There it is.
Is
it gonna show up? I'm not seeing it. Is it hidden somewhere?
It shouldn't be.
I'm suspicious.
Mind if I take a seat?
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Technical difficulties.
Really, honestly, I'd be hesitant to call these technical difficulties. This is just minor inconveniences. Like, compared to what we've been dealing with for the rest of the day. Wow, we've got 5 people.
Well, we're ready to solve a mystery, guys.
Yeah, no kidding. I really hope that I'm able to get this worked out quickly. So people don't leave.
I was just trying to cover you up and you woke up. Darn it. It's okay. I'm about to solve a mystery. We have 5 viewers. Last we saw.
Yep. We went back down to 4.
But we are going to solve a mystery. We finished the race early, ahead of schedule. That is what it is.
I guess what we're gonna have to do.
What are we gonna have to do?
See about. There's not really any personal information up here. So what I'm going to do is delete this game capture and see if this will work.
Are you just trying to capture that side of the monitor? Oh dear.
Well, that's a little nonsense.
What is? Oh, that is okay. Yeah, we should fix that.
All right. Well, clearly display capture isn't gonna work.
This is very silly.
This is fine. Everything's fine. I'm gonna look in the settings.
The year 1930. The place, the road to Titusville, where we find Nancy.
There's no video settings.
Nope.
Gosh dang it, Nancy Drew.
Hey now.
How did we get the first one to work?
I don't know. It wasn't this complicated. I've had it work in my OBS just from game capture.
Specifically, this one?
What do you mean? This game specifically? No. Actually, yes.
Oh.
What?
My internet is out.
Yeah, I noticed that my phone wasn't connecting to Facebook because it said I had no Wi-Fi, but I figured it was just my phone.
I think it's reconnecting now. Okay, yeah.
It's back.
OBS says reconnection successful. So I guess my internet went out.
That's too bad.
Yeah, my mother messaged me on Discord.
Shrey was watching. He just asked me a question.
No?
He asked if I was wearing 2 watches.
I'm gonna refresh the YouTube page.
Alright, are we still live?
Well, we're live again.
Alright, we're live again. Great.
I just have to figure out why Nancy Drew isn't showing up. Go away, Roxio.
I have my notebook for sleuthing at the ready. Ready to go. Except for the technical stuff.
Well, yes, except for the actually being able to see the
I
game
will still
part.
try to be done by 1:30 though.
What if I set it to capture any full screen application?
Could try that.
How have you set it up?
That might be how I did it.
I'm
But
gonna
I've
try it
only
again.
tried to use OBS like twice ever.
Yeah, I know.
So
I'm sorry, I'm cutting into your time a little bit, but this has to be working. Capture any full screen application.
it's not doing it.
Yeah, I see that. Capture foreground window with hotkey.
What?
I don't know what hotkey it would be.
Additional suggestion. You pick up the webcam and hold it behind me over my shoulder while I play the game.
That would be nonsense.
I don't know. I think it's problem solving to me.
That your method of problem solving sounds like nonsense. Also, that would be really annoying to do for an hour.
And a half.
Yeah. Remove this.
Thanks for sticking with us, guys. We're
Yep.
trying to get there. Trying to stay on the one part of the schedule we actually posted. But it's
None of that.
don't think.
No, that's actually.
The game I was thinking the game I played last time was actually older, but no, because the game I played last time was the remastered version of that game, which actually makes it newer than a lot of the
Hmm. Yeah. I'm getting a lot of older Nancy Drew games are really complicated to stream with OBS.
Well, like I said, I got it to work on my laptop. It just was really laggy because my laptop is really terrible at running multiple programs at the same time.
Yeah.
Especially if one of them is a game.
Okay. Let's see if changing the resolution of this monitor will work. Okay, identify.
Might as well try it.
Okay. Identified.
Jeez, that
Keep
resolution.
these settings. Heck yeah. Oh man, we are making progress.
Are we?
Are you prepared to see my desktop background and a bunch of Bible verses? Because, boy howdy.
Let's hope this works.
I hope this works. Welcome to the Infinite Void. Okay. So welcome to my desktop background. Don't worry, you won't be here for long. Gosh dang it.
It does not fit.
While I'm here, I'm gonna change the game to
Good idea.
Secret of the OP Clock. Secret of the Oklahoma.
Well, you
What-
tried.
What exactly is Oklahoma?
Alright, it's gonna do it. I don't know why it looks like that, because that's not what it looks like on that screen.
Okay. I'm gonna crop it.
Alright. This is a very roundabout way to capture this game, but
Yeah,
I
well-
guess it's better than the alternative of holding webcam over my shoulder. Or some people seem to think
Dun
so.
dun 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 dun.
So hopefully it's big enough that you can actually see.
Well, yeah. Once I crop it, let's just take a look at how this. Okay, I need to bring it in more.
And up.
Well, yes, I was one thing at a time. Is that in far enough?
I don't think so. That might be. Alright, let's try it.
Look at that recycle bin. That's not far enough horizontally, and it's too far vertically.
Okay, but very close.
We're getting there.
We
are making progress. I'm gonna bring it into 180 and move this out to 120.
There we go.
Almost. That's a little too far. I'm gonna say 170.
Alright, let's do this thing.
Please be right.
Let's do this thing. Joshua, it is okay.
60.
I am so ready.
You did it.
You did it. Good job. Now,
Okay.
let's play the game.
Well, yes. Let me make it bigger.
Are you ready for this? Have we lost you yet?
I am very ready. I'm sorry that took so long.
Okay, so now I'm taking control. We're going to be starting a new game.
Welcome to my latest
And we're going to be playing on Senior Detective.
The year 1930. The place, the road to
Exposition
Titusville,
that you can't
where we
avoid.
find Nancy Drew behind the wheel
There's
of
a lot of
blue
this
roadster,
game that
pondering
has
this question. Why
dialogue
did Emily
and various
Crandall, a girl whom
cutscenes that
Nancy
you
knows
just
only through their
can't do
mutual
anything
friend
about.
Ellen Corning,
Interesting
ask
thing
Nancy
was
to
I was
drive
watching the
all
speed
the
run
way
of this
out
in
to the
preparation.
Highland
If you
to see her.
you see I put my
As
cursor in the
was
top
expected,
left hand.
Emily's mother
That
didn't
actually
get up earlier, leaving
skipped
Emily to run
quite a
the
bit of
house
this
only on
opening
a dime to
cutscene.
help her.
I didn't do that when I was
Why,
practicing,
when she
but
called, did Emily sound so desperate? The spunky teenager turns off the main road, blissfully unaware that Emily isn't all that waits her at the end of the driveway. No, Nancy Drew is about to get her first taste of the mystery, intrigue,
First
and
taste.
adventure
First
that will
case.
become her
Interesting. I
destiny.
mentioned that the first book was actually published in 1930. But this is the only game that's actually set that far back.
Well, hello.
Opening
My
conversation
boy,
that
you're
we
Nancy
can't
Drew.
skip.
Emily told me your name.
I'm Jane Willoughby. I'm Emily's guardian, but only for the next 3 months until she turns 18.
So we're just
Then
gonna let
she's
them
on her
talk.
own.
Or for now, we're gonna let
It
Jane
smells
talk.
like someone's been baking pies.
Pies are the Lilac Inn specialty. We get orders from all over. Oh, that reminds me, your father called. You're supposed to call him. You can use the coin phone.
They're gonna tell us to call our
Emily
father
didn't say
a lot
anything
throughout
about you
this
coming
game.
until just this morning.
She didn't?
Don't get me wrong, she can invite anybody here she wants. It's just that she's gotten so darn forgetful lately.
Is she all right?
Well, now that's hard to say. She misses her mom, that's for sure. So do I. Gloria and me, we were best friends.
Also,
you know?
everyone in
Thomas
this
ran
game,
this
you'll
small
notice
little
this more
press
later,
shop
and I'll
over in
probably
Capital
point it
City.
out then when
But
we're
then she got
going
hitched
around
and I'm
town.
kidding. And the next thing I know, she's writing me saying that
But
the
pretty
church
much
had
everyone in
overlooked
this
her
game,
mind
for
about
some
taking
reason,
care
has
of
some
little
kind of
girls if
arbitrary
something ever
accent.
happened to her.
It was nice of you to
And,
say yes.
I couldn't say
not
no.
really sure
I mean,
why.
what are best friends for? I just wish I knew
It's kind of weird. There's like someone who's Scottish and someone who is very dramatic and someone who sounds a little bit like Goofy.
Goofy is everyone's favorite mystery character.
Go on up.
Clearly.
She's in her room. Just make like a Boy Scout and be prepared.
Make like a Boy Scout. We are going to Emily's room, and I am prepared. So prepared.
Hi, welcome to the Lilac Inn. Oh, and before I forget,
I have to go through
thank
the
you for that nice
conversations.
note you sent me when Mom died. It meant
We
a
are
lot
not
to
going
me.
to talk
Helen
about
told me I
Nancy's
felt so bad for
mother.
you. I had to do something.
You and I may not be best friends.
Also, early
but
Nancy
still
Drew was
one of the
very
nicest
sassy.
people I know.
The second option was you obviously need to get out more, but we're not going to choose that option
That's why I'm
because
hoping you'll do
it's
me a favor,
actually
a big
shorter.
favor. You and your dad.
We don't
What
need
kind of
that
favor?
because we don't need this. We have
Yes.
mine.
What's wrong?
Yes, also that freaky
Thought I
animation.
heard
That is
your father
rather
has a safe,
jarring.
right?
Also, more sass.
You need to
That
know
was
something
another
about
thing
safe.
I didn't
See
notice
this
until
jewelry?
replaying
I'd
this
like you to take
game
it
just
home
this
with you.
year,
I'm
you know,
gonna
for the
keep
first
your
time
father
since
safe.
I was like
It's
9.
beautiful.
Was
It was
just
my
how
mother's.
sassy Nancy
Times
can
I
be
saw her
in some
wear
of
it,
these
she looked
games.
just like a movie star. I was hiding it here in my room, but all things considered, I'd feel a lot better if you would just take it home and have
I
it
also
wrapped
have
in
in my
safe.
notebook
What do you mean,
all of the routes
things
or
considered?
all of the dialogue
All these
options
things
that will
have been
get
going
us
on around
through
here.
the
That's all
dialogue
I
the
can say.
fastest,
I know it sounds loony,
which
and
is
Jane
why I'm
probably
clicking the
told you
specific
that I've
things
been
that I am.
acting loony, but please
I
don't
know
say
I'm not
more
really
than
saying much
that.
about them, but again, you can't
was
skip
that?
the exposition or the plot in this.
Scream.
The kitchen is
Come
on
on,
fire.
we better get
You
out
would
of
be
here.
screaming too.
Okay, yes. I have screamed at less.
It's true.
Nearly had a panic
You have
attack about
screamed
that
at
once.
wasps.
To be fair, I wasn't screaming.
This is
I get
horrible,
more,
just
like,
horrible.
silently terrified.
The
You
funny
might
thing
have
is,
yelled.
the stove was completely destroyed and there's smoke
Oh, my
damage
voice does get
everywhere.
high-pitched.
The inn will have to shut down for months, maybe even for good.
Also, awkward pause.
Does he
Also,
know
I
what caused the
apologize.
explosion?
I can't figure out how to get to the live stream page on my phone on
The
YouTube,
flame either went
so
out
it might
or
be
was
a bit
never
before it's
lit, but
possible for me
anyway,
to read any
something made a
comments.
spark and
That
boom.
would be
He
too
said
bad.
insurance companies are very
Can you
reluctant
hand
to
me my
pay out
phone,
when things
please?
look hinky, and that's when
Yes.
times are good.
Who was in the kitchen this morning?
Thank you.
Emily was the last person to use the stove. Like I said, she's been real forgetful lately. I think she's pretty upset. But it's not her fault. What with her mom passing away barely a month ago, and me showing up, this total stranger who doesn't know the first thing about kids or running a restaurant, and her trying to do everything all by herself. It's just too much, that's all. Who wouldn't go a little off their nut?
Phone's
I better
ringing.
get that. The line to the regular phone got
Phone's
burned up in the
ringing.
fire. So now the only phone we got is the coin phone on the porch. Excuse me.
Okay, so we had to necessarily talk to Jane, and then we had a necessary conversation with Emily, and another necessary conversation with Jane, and now we are going to Emily to talk to her again. So there's really this game
My
is
mother's
very
jewelry.
linear.
It's gone. Someone must have stolen
More
it while we were
plot.
all downstairs.
So first the
I
stove
knew
explodes.
something like this was
Now the
coming up.
jewelry is
I
gone.
just knew it.
Why
You
is the
said
rum
that you
gone?
were the last one to use
There's
the
no rum
stove.
in this
Is
game,
that
Joshua.
true?
Okay, well,
I did not
This
leave the
this is a
stove on.
game
That fire was not
that
my
children
fault.
can play.
Oh, what am I going to
yeah,
do?
well,
Without that jewelry, I don't have a prayer
children
paying
want
for
the
a new
Pirates of the
stove, and
Caribbean.
without a stove, I'll have to sell the inn.
That's
And if
fair.
I lose the inn, I wish Mom were still here. I wish Josiah Crowley had left us the money like he always said
She
he
is
was going to.
only
That's what I
slightly
wish.
bitter about
Who's
Josiah Crowley.
Crowley?
He was this old man.
Funny
who
thing,
lived
Josiah
next door.
Crowley
He died
and
last
his
year.
will
He
are
spent most of
actually
his
the
time here in
center
the inn,
of the
and he
plot
knew
of The
my
Secret
mom
of
would
the
never
Old
believe
Clock
that he'd left a
novel.
lot of money for us in
Emily
his will.
and
He'd give
Jane
us a
were not
cut, and
actually in that
afterwards,
book.
he'd always point to it and get this little
There
twinkle in his eye
was
and say,
a
"Time
person
will
mentioned
tell."
named
But when they
Jane that they
finally found
never
his
really went
will,
into, so
he
I don't
didn't
know if
leave
it
us
was
a
the same
penny. Did he
Jane
leave any
Willoughby
family?
character, but Emily
No, he
Crandall
always said Mom and I were
is
his family.
actually a character
Josiah was kind
in
of
The
a
Mystery of
screw up.
Lilac Inn, which is the fourth book
One
that I
time, he
mentioned,
showed
and
up at my
obviously
birthday
this takes
party
place
dressed
at
as
the
my
Lilac
great-aunt
Inn,
Harriet.
which
I didn't know he
isn't
was my
actually
name
in The
until
Secret
2
of the Old
days
Clock.
later. Anyway, he had all these weird hobbies, and he always thought it would be
Richard
really
Topham was
neat to
also
get
a
mines.
character in
Josiah
the
invited
first
Richard Topham to an
Secret of
event
the
so
Old
Topham
Clock
could help him
book.
develop his
I got the
paranormal
chat
powers
below, so
right
hopefully if
there in
anyone
his
says
house.
anything, I'll be able to
Josiah
see
was a
it.
sweet
Alright.
old man, and I do miss him. And he was free to give his money to whomever he wanted. But to get our hopes up like that, and then leave us nothing, it just wasn't like him.
Now,
Is your
there's a
mother
whole
still
host of
legally
characters
insured?
who are
Gosh,
not
I
in
never
this
thought
game
about
who
that.
were in the
I don't
book.
know. Jim Archer. I bet he'd know. He's our banker. I guess I should go talk
Jim
to him.
Archer, that was a
Doesn't sound
weird thing.
very happy about it.
His name wasn't
I'm
mentioned
just
at all
bad at business deals.
until I was
Jane
reading
will guide me.
Lilac Inn, and
She
I was
tries
expecting him to
hard,
be a
but she's
banker
no
because
good
there
with
actually
me.
was a banker
Maybe
mentioned
you
in the
could go
Secret of the
talk
Old
to him.
Clock book.
Please? It would be such a
Um,
big help.
but the
Sure.
name
He
came
owns the
up
Main Street
when
Bank.
I was
Again,
reading
I'll call him and tell him you're coming.
Mystery
I'll
of
be back
Lilac
in a little
Inn,
bit.
and that's actually the
Don't
name of
forget
a
to call your
fiance
father.
of one of Nancy's friends, which is very odd. If you meet the Jim Archer character here, who is this awkward old banker. But we're not going to call our father. Also not going to go to the bank. We're going to go over to Richard Topham's house, and we're going to grab this piece of paper.
Someone recently had a key appraised.
Someone had a key appraised. Okay, we're going to Topham's. We are clicking quickly.
Over here, Miss Drew. Find the toy mouse and give it to Yuri, would you please? Otherwise, he'll just keep meowing. He hates strangers.
If you can't already tell by his voice, this guy definitely thinks he's better than you. That is one thing that was accurate between the books and the game. But I will say this game takes it to a different level, and you will see what I mean by that shortly.
I mean, if
How
dialogue's
nice of you to
limited, you
drop
have
by.
to be able
And
to
thank you for
decide.
walking instead of parking in the driveway.
Yes,
I'm
you
expecting
will
a
just
pupil.
have
I'd
to
hate for her to
see.
have to park on the road.
Mr. Topham,
Richard Topham at your service.
what were you doing just now?
I was in the process of trying to make these spoons move by using nothing but my own psychic energy. Have you ever
This
focused
guy's
sunlight
serious.
through a magnifying glass until it was a minute yet searing point of light, Miss Drew?
I do in fact
Yeah,
carry around a
yes.
magnifying
You
glass.
see,
I am a
that's what I
detective.
do with my cerebral emanations, my thoughts. I focus them until they're a beam of pure energy which ultimately disrupts and transforms the molecular force field
This
surrounding
guy
the target
is a
object.
total
Is
quack.
that what you teach people in your school? How to beam their
That's
thoughts?
offensive.
I take them through exercises designed to help them increase
Perhaps.
their output of phantasmic energy. If you want to sign up
Phantasmic
for an
energy.
introductory session, I believe I have
I'm
an
gonna
opening
say
today.
no.
No, thank
You don't
you.
mind me, I'll just be
Oh,
hovering around.
I'm afraid I'm busy, young lady. Far too
Snarking.
busy to engage in
Okay,
idle conversation.
that's fine.
It's
Everyone
okay.
in this
Time
game
for
is
me to come
snarking, so
back.
it's fine.
I fit right
That's
into the
true.
30s.
I've discovered that the more time I spend with the, shall we say, intellectually
Wow.
endowed, the more my cerebral
He is
processes
taking
seem to
straight
diminish.
shots at
I'm
me, and
afraid I
he
cannot
just
speak to
met
you
me.
further unless and until you prove that you are worthy.
I really
That is,
want to
that
give
your
him the
worthy
sass
worth is not
answer, but
unacceptably
saying,
inferior
just
and thus
playing along
deleterious
is
to you.
faster.
How
And
would
for
I
the
do
sake of the
that?
speed run.
What I have here is an exercise
Choose the
in
sass
logic.
answer or
If
the
you can
fast
discern
answer.
the correct
Also, we're
solution,
not going to
then
do
all
this
my
immediately.
recognition
It's
with you
we're going to
will
be like
be no psychic
closer to the
magic.
end of the game
You
by
may
the
take
time
your
we
pick.
actually get to this, but you'll
Good
see
luck
it later
and
and
good day.
Maybe?
see how kind of ridiculous it is. We are not
Would it be
playing
okay
mini
if I looked
golf.
around?
Oh.
Go right ahead. The place is more like a museum than a house.
Okay, so this is the first puzzle,
Everything in here was Josiah's.
and this is just a memory game. So mouse memory, let's see how good my memory is right now. It's not doing too terribly so far. We've got some fun music in this game.
At least since we're not using the capture card, we don't have to worry about any audio issues.
It's true.
Though the audio is probably
Alright, so let's see what we get for solving our first puzzle. And it's a mirror. Yes, thank you, Nancy. Next, we will do a little bit of looking around.
Did you get the mirror Harrison?
No, lest I forget. And of course, because this is just how the way that this game is, Nancy is going to narrate everything she reads in this notebook, and I can't stop her. So,
just you try.
You can't miss a whole lot as I try to speed through this. You may notice there is a picture. Wow, she's reading this too. There's a picture of a carousel horse in here. And there is actually a carousel horse in here. Josiah said everything in here belonged to Josiah. Or Richard said everything in here belonged to Josiah. This actually seems like a reference to the Haunted Carousel, which is another Nancy Drew game. I don't remember if it's actually earlier or later than this one. I want to say it's later than this one. But I was wondering, since they're on totally different timelines, how they could be related, when it occurred to me that the carousel was actually built much earlier than the mystery of it, which occurs obviously after it's been implemented for many years.
Hi, Nancy.
What was your mother's middle name?
Also, excuse the complete randomness.
curious.
I'm just curious.
How
And
about
I'm
even a little bit?
gonna leave.
Don't forget to call your father.
Yes, I am not actually going to call my father at any point in this game. But I will go over here and do this bird puzzle, which I have notes about. Yes, yes, it does. This is actually one of the only things that is different between the junior and senior detective. I might have mentioned that last time when I was playing Secrets Can Kill, that the slide puzzle was actually the only difference between the two.
We don't talk about slide
Yes,
puzzles.
the
do we?
slide puzzle.
Actually, I like that sort of puzzle a lot more than slide puzzles.
This puzzle does involve sliding, though. Okay.
Yeah, but there's more space to slide things.
And I could be doing it, but I just have the solution worked out and written down so I can get through it faster. And hey, look, it's another mirror. And now we're moving on.
Completely unrelated. I don't count handy later.
Probably not. Okay, here's our nice blue convertible roadster.
Also, don't really be preparing myself stack.
She saw a car before. I didn't notice it. Anyways, and now we're driving. I used to be really terrible at driving when I played this game. I got flat tires all the time. There are all these oil places. Also, we're not going to the jeweler's or the bank. We're going up to this completely random place that no one's really mentioned, except if you paid attention when she was reading that journal, she said something about a trivet at Twin
My
Elms.
name's Nancy
We're like
Drew.
5.
I'm a
You didn't
friend
have
of
a
Emily
driver's
Crandall.
license.
I was 9.
Okay, well, you still didn't have a driver's license. Now did you?
Here is the woman with the very posh accent.
No, honoring that response, I see.
I'm trying to pay attention to this so that I can give people inspiring commentary.
Maybe I could run the errand for you. I have a car.
How many viewers do we have?
I believe 5. Last I checked.
Really?
Maybe 4.
It is a very intriguing thought. I will say, I think the game, in a way, it can be very convoluted, but it does go much more in depth than I feel like the book does. But that's probably okay because it was a book written for children, and it's pretty short. It was a pretty short read. I mentioned I read it in the last couple of days, but that was just in short bursts, really. So
How much does the game audio matter to you?
I need to hear it.
Okay, how much does the game audio matter to you for anyone else to be able to hear it?
In the room?
For anyone watching?
Yes, people watching need to hear the game audio.
Okay, then I need to adjust the game audio.
Okay.
Let me wipe off my hand and I'll...
Okay, we're gonna buy some toys because we're at a general store and that's what you do. I don't know if you paid attention to what that woman was saying, But Josiah lent her the trivet. She doesn't have it anymore. She thought it was ugly. I have to go do an errand for her because she's gonna play bridge with people and have a posh party. So we're gonna buy
Posh party is best party.
all of these things of transportation plus a bear because I also clicked on the bear. Because who doesn't need toys? Oh, I already
A
put it.
vending machine that just sells toys. Keen.
Keen. Everything is keen here. Am I? There we go. I now have 5 toys. Are you gonna adjust game audio?
Yeah, I'll need to full tap.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. Don't mind me trying to make things shiny. Everything's shiny, Captain. And
Yeah, except when Kaylee was playing Death Road to Canada.
things were
Things
not
were
quite as
not
shiny.
shiny.
Okay. Hopefully, I'm gonna turn it up to 30. It was at 6.
Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear the wonderful voice acting that I have been raving about.
The balance looks like it's much better. I'm gonna
Okay.
have to remember to adjust that back down to 6.
Well, now I will actually be going forward to some slightly more obvious plot things. Also, sometimes there is a cow in this road here. There's not right now.
Turn into a cow. Can I go?
Hello, are you Mr. Waddell?
So this
So
is
what
a
if
jeweler.
I am?
She
I
mentions
found this
that someone got a
receipt,
key
and I
phrase.
just
We
wondered
caught
what
that
you could
paper in
tell
the
me
wind
about it.
Let me see
and all
that.
that fun stuff.
Key,
So
determine resale value, item 493. Oh yeah, this was for that key Jim Archer wanted me to appraise.
Jim Archer wanted you to appraise a key?
It was very
Yes.
ornate, had jewels all over it. Fake jewels, as it turned out. When I told him it was worthless, the cheapskate refused to pay me and told me to keep it.
Do you think I could have it?
Sure. Once you pay the appraisal fee,
$1.50. That is a
Which
hefty
is-
fee.
$1.50.
Here you go.
Good.
But I'm
Here's
handing
your
it
key.
over because it's a
Enjoy.
clue and I gotta have it. And now I will go to the bank to talk to Jim Archer.
Hello, I'm looking for Jim Archer.
Right through that door.
Alright, here he is.
Hello! Are you Nancy Drew?
Yes, are you Mr. Archer?
Yes, ma'am. Jim Archer. I'm founder, president, manager, and just about everything else you can name when it comes to this fine enterprise.
He is.
I hear that some businesses aren't doing so well these days.
Ever since the stock market crashed, one business after another has closed,
Yes,
including
the
banks.
Great Depression.
President Hoover
Which
keeps saying that
actually
a recovery
doesn't
is
come up
just
in the
around
book
the
at all.
corner,
That's
but you have
probably
to
because it
wonder.
was
Is
published
your
in
bank doing
1930,
okay?
not actually
I'm happy
written
to
then.
report that we're doing just fine, thank you. Excuse me. Main Street Bank, Jim Archer speaking.
Also, we have to sit
No, I
here through
don't.
him
I'm
being on the
sorry, but-
telephone just to immediately leave the
Yes, I
conversation
know,
after. We
but-
can't actually do anything about
All
that.
right, then just bring it by.
So, as I said, we're going to immediately leave the conversation once he
Sorry for the
actually acknowledges
interruption.
us
How can I
again.
help you?
I guess I'll be
Only
going.
to turn
Goodbye
around,
now.
look at his clock, and then
Where
talk
did you
to him
get
again.
this clock?
Josiah Crowley gave it to me. It stopped keeping time the
You
minute
can't
he
tell.
walked out the
Josiah
door.
Crowley has a thing with the clock,
It would
about
sure be
clocks.
nice to be able to open this thing.
Also, if you can't tell, clocks are kind of important to the plot of this game, and also the book.
Not like they're in the title.
Hello again.
The key that you had Mr. Waddell appraise, could that be the key to the clock that Josiah Crowley gave you?
It
Nancy's
might have
thinking.
been, I suppose. You know about that?
Yes, in fact, I paid the appraisal fee. I have the key right here.
How industrious of you.
I am
You see,
very industrious.
when he told me the
I
key
should
was
have my
worthless, I
thinking
lost
cap
all
on.
interest in it.
So, it would be all right if I kept the key
I
for
used
myself?
to have a,
I have
a
no
hat
use
that
for
we
it.
called my
In
Nancy
fact,
Drew
if you want
hat
that old
because
clock,
it
you can
looked
have it too.
similar
I guess
to
I'll
what
be
we
going.
imagined she
Nice
might wear,
talking to you.
But, I don't remember if I actually still have it. Okay, so here's a puzzle. And it can be a little picky sometimes, but it doesn't look too bad right now. The trick to this one is it's picky about you getting it just right on the pegs, and it's kind of hard to do because the hand covers it and they don't snap to it immediately. Also, that's not where that goes. I was focused on talking. But if you look, there are actually lines on those gears that show you where they line up. That's a pretty straightforward way to get through it. That doesn't go there, that goes there. And you just gotta line everything up.
Depends on dealing with mountains better now.
Good. Did someone say something?
Yeah, I was talking
Oh,
about
look! It's another mirror. And if you haven't noticed, with all these mirrors, we have 3 of them by now. They all have dominoes on them, which is very curious. We're gonna go to the telegram. Not the telegram place. We're gonna go to the operator's house, which is Titusville Telco, the woman who should have the bridge cards.
Yeah,
Are you Miss Jakowski?
yeah, and you
You
are?
mentioned that whenever
Nancy
I
Drew.
mentioned
I'm
bridge.
a friend of Emily
That's because
Crandall.
the only
You know,
relevant
at the
thought I had
Lilac
about
Inn.
bridge.
Yeah.
We should learn to play
I'm kind
bridge.
of pressed for time. Going to a party and it takes me a while to
Again,
get told
everyone we
up.
talk to in
What
this
do you
town
need?
Mrs.
pretty
Sheldon
much
asked me to pick
has
up her
some
bridge
sort of
cards from
accent.
you.
Tell you what, I'll get you those cards if you drive that
Using
fancy car of yours over to the orphanage and pick up some raffle tickets from Mrs. O'Shea. I should be able to
What?
unload a ton of them tonight.
I'd be happy to.
Good, I gotta go. Yeah, I'm
That'll
coming.
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, so she needs me to do a thing for her with raffle tickets before she can give me the bridge cards. So this is like a massive roundabout
Excuse me, are
fetch
you
quest
Mrs. O'Shea?
thing.
Yes?
My name
That
is
we're-
Nancy Drew.
Like I said, we're starting now.
Put that down this instant. We do not
which-
run with sticks in our hands. Or
Also,
in our
she has a
mouths.
Scottish accent.
I'm sorry. You were saying?
But
Miss Jakowski asked me
we're
to
just
pick
kind
up
of
some
gonna do it
raffle
in
tickets
chunks
from
when
you.
it's most
Oh,
convenient
yes,
to
the
be
raffle
out and about,
The fact
so
of
that
the
we don't
matter
have
is
to buy gas at any point.
Essex, no hitting.
I'm also going to
I can't
avoid
even think
potholes
about
so I
those
don't have
raffle
to change
tickets
a
right now.
tire. That was
Promise the
something that was
children they'd
actually
each get a
interesting
toy
to
for
me,
going a
is
full
that
week without breaking
in
anything.
The Secret of
And
the
I'm
Old
short
Clock
5
book,
toys.
Nancy actually
Do
does
not
hit
eat that,
pothole and
Clarence.
have
Would
to
you
change
like
a
me to
tire.
get 5 toys for you?
So I think it's
Goodness, if you
interesting
could
that it
do
was
that,
incorporated
I'd be
into the
forever
game
grateful.
as a
They can be
mechanic.
any kind of toy
If
at all.
you,
The children aren't
just
the
the
least
driving. And,
Of course it tastes bad, Clarence.
yeah,
It's a pine cone.
I better go rinse out his mouth
it's,
before.
it's kind of interesting to me.
Would you look at that? He's actually chewing it.
I wasn't sure
You're not a
exactly what to
squirrel,
expect
Clarence.
as far as how much
Spit that out.
overlap there would be, because it's not like they're, based on, it's that they're loosely drawn from. So, help print shop to get the
The door's
tickets.
locked. Guess he stepped out for a minute.
Wait a second. Oh. I went too fast. I need to go back to the orphanage
Hi, do you
and
have
actually
5
give her the
toys for me?
toys that I
I
had in my
certainly
inventory,
do.
because you can't
Oh,
actually
that's
give her the
wonderful.
toys the first
You're
time
such
she
a
asks, and then
saint,
you have
hear
to
me? A
go
saint.
back in.
I'd better get
a
these
second
inside before
time.
the children see them.
So
Thank
I
you
could have
so
just
much.
sat there and pressed
Mrs.
the space bar
O'Shea,
to
the
go in
raffle
again, so I
tickets?
lost a little time. there.
Oh,
It really
the raffle
wasn't
tickets?
a big deal.
I don't have
I'm
them,
probably
dear. You'll
losing
have to
more
pick 'em up
time
from
just trying to
Phelps Bridge.
narrate
Then
and
just
get
take 'em
back
straight to
stuff,
Miss
but
Jakowski.
We don't
that's
pull
the
hair,
nature of the
Ralphie.
thing. I'm not trying to
Especially
get
when we have jelly
this
on our hands.
done in under an hour.
That's print
Like the
shop.
person who
Wonderful.
I watched their speed run of did. So we have to go to the print shop, get the raffle tickets. I probably said that before she did. This is the guy.
Young lady,
That's
I'm
really
about
slow.
to close.
I'm
I
just here to
think he
pick up
sounds
the
like
raffle
you.
tickets you printed for Mrs.
It kind
O'Shea.
of drives me
Oh,
crazy when I'm
darn
trying
it.
so
I did
fast.
tell her I'd have those done
But
today,
it'll be
didn't
okay.
I? Well, I'm sorry, but they're just gonna have to wait until tomorrow.
Oh, but I need to have them today.
And I
Nancy
need
is,
to go
is very
fishing.
Nancy. She's
Fishing?
not a very patient
My
person.
brother-in-law thinks he's hot stuff because he caught an 18-inch largemouth
So now we
bass
have to
this
hear
morning.
about his fishing
So I bet
woes.
him
Should
I
we call
could
her
catch a
Nancy Drew?
19-incher by the end
No,
of the day.
we will not
If
call
I
her
do,
Nancy Drew.
I get his stamp collection. And if I don't, he gets mine. And since stamp collecting is about the only hobby I can afford these days,
He can't give us
I'm
the
going
raffle tickets
fishing.
because
I
he's
know.
going.
You stay here and print those raffle tickets, and I'll go fishing for you.
Great
Not
idea,
everybody
Nancy.
can catch a 19-inch
We're gonna go
largemouth bass, you know. It
Raffle
takes
tickets make
skill,
excellent fishing bait.
muscle, and brains.
Don't check
Bass
my
are pretty
facts on
smart.
That's
I can do it,
not a
Mr.
true
Phelps.
fact.
You better be right, because you're
I
not
am
getting
not
those
listening
raffle
to you.
tickets until
I
I
have
get my
been fishing at
19-incher.
least 3 times.
Use
Fun
my gear,
fact,
I left everything
The
out
first
at
time I played this game,
Great,
I
I'll see you
actually
later.
sat there trying to finish his fishing quest until the day turned to night and I got a game over and had to do a second chance.
Wait,
Which
it's
is-
actually time?
I don't actually know how that happened. Oh man, what happened? I accidentally put on health. But
First thing
there
I need to do
is
is bait my hook.
a guide somewhere in this game.
Now
We
I
haven't
toss
gotten
this
there
in
yet.
the water, and when the bobber
Yes,
goes
thank you,
under
Nancy.
the water, I need to pull the line up fast.
There is somewhere in this game something that indicates to you how you're supposed to fish to get the particular size and particular type of fish that he wants. But I had not found that clue yet, and so I just kept trying to get the fish. There I have it.
Looks like 19
try,
inches to
because
me.
I actually know what the trick is now.
Oh,
But
no offense,
I
Mr.
guess
Fish,
I
but
just
you
sat around
stink.
long enough and tried so many times. I don't
Let's
know
see what you got in
how
there.
that happened.
How about
It
that?
just must
You
have been
did it.
terrible.
Here,
but
let me take it.
I
from
used to
you.
spend a really
Please
long time
do.
on these
I
games as a
think
kid,
it's
mostly
starting to get
because
a
I
little
did it
right.
in
Just
shorter
rest
bursts when I was
yourself
at my
a minute
grandparents'
while I get
houses. I
those
didn't sit
raffle
down and
tickets.
play for hours at my own house.
There you go. 10
So I
dozen
always
tickets to the
got the
annual
feeling that these
orphans
games were
benefit.
really long.
Now, if you'll excuse me,
But then when I
have to
played
go
them,
make a
picked this one
telephone
up
call.
actually a few
To
months
your
ago with
brother-in-law?
the friend that I
Yeah,
mentioned.
the one who
We
used to collect
finished it in a
stamps.
few hours. Actually, there was a glitch with the paper that we caught at the
Bye.
beginning that made us have to start over. But we did end up finishing it. That same night that we started it, it was very early in the morning. Where am I going? Alright. So instead of actually giving her the raffle tickets, we're going back to do unrelated things.
Huzzah.
So, if you remember from the notebook, she was reading stuff. And now we're going to get into this carriage house. If you also remember, we randomly asked Emily what her mother's middle name was, and that's going to be relevant. Because this puzzle is... It only checks... The game only checks that you got the answer to the last part of it. So there are 4 words you need to find out. And the last word is her mother's middle name. So you actually don't have to do any of the other puzzles to get any of the other words. You only have to ask her mother's middle name in order to solve this puzzle. And that was one thing that I just didn't... It kind of drove me crazy when I found this out, because the 3rd word is pony, and the clue, if you read in the journal, was what do you get when you get par on my miniature golf course, and you get a toy pony. Yes, we are not playing miniature golf. Is long story short. Here's that fishing guide, by the way. I'm gonna do this clock puzzle. But I probably spent 20 or more minutes just trying to get par on that. Probably half an hour alone, honestly. It was pretty bad, is the moral of the story. That's one of the things in this game that is less straightforward. I mean, when you're speedrunning a game like this, usually it's, okay, if you know the answer to the puzzle, you have all the answers written down, you know the quickest way to get through the dialogue, you just click until it's done. But there actually are some parts of this game that require some level of skill to get through, and it's not going to be constant every time. And for me, that's miniature golf, which is terrible. Also, we have 4 of these mirrors now.
I wonder what goes here.
Oh, I wonder what it could be. So we're going to go put these mirrors up in the corner of this carriage house.
No way, I thought they were unrelated.
You have obviously never solved a mystery before.
I solved a mystery once. It was
Nothing.
arduous and painful.
Nothing is unrelated. Hey now. That was an enjoyable game.
Yeah. But
Hey, dominoes. I said something about the dominoes on the mirrors. This would be how they're related. This puzzle's kind of interesting. It's very straightforward because there's actually only 1 instance of each number on any of these dominoes. So as long as you line it up, it's really fine. But this is kind of one of the finicky ones, because even though it snaps into place more or less, sometimes the game doesn't accept it right away. So we'll just have to see where my luck is. There we go. So it took us the first time, but for instance, in the speedrun I was
Adjust the
watching,
mirrors
and
so that
also
the light hits them just
the
right.
last time that I ran through this game, it gave me
anything the light touches
a little bit of
is
trouble.
your puzzle. What about that field over there? That is the elephant graveyard. You must never go there. What?
I don't understand.
If you expect anything different from me at this point,
I don't actually know how to control the way. I don't know if I can control the way that I turn the mirrors, or if it just I have to wait for it to change. Like, this isn't a difficult puzzle, it's just a matter of getting it there. There we go.
Shiny.
Very shiny.
Okay.
That was like my favorite part of the Frogger game I played on the PC growing up. Alright, so we're getting up here.
These two little reflecting lasers.
Oh, also, I should have done this while she was talking about the mirrors. We're gonna do this. Which, this was his very serious intelligence test. Is actually just a series of Rebus clues, if you know what those are.
Am I smart or what?
And Nancy thinks she's pretty smart stuff.
I'm getting there.
Which I used to be
That looks right.
fascinated with as a child. These kinds of
Am I smart
puzzles.
or what?
Yes, you're very intelligent, Nancy.
I'm very proud of you, Nancy.
The reason we're doing that is because we're going to be going to Topham's right after this, and of course he won't talk to us because unless we prove we're intelligent, because it would diminish his psycho-phantasmic energy, whatever. So
That sounds like a word he probably made up.
I probably made it up, honestly. Yes, we're going to Topham's house. He said phantasmic energy. I added the psycho.
Hello, Miss Drew.
Hello, Mr.
Yes,
Topham.
hello, Mr. Topham.
Am I to
Richard
assume
Topham
that you
actually
have
has a
the
wife
correct
and
solution
2
to that
daughters
logic
in the
problem?
Nancy Drew books. And they go to school with Nancy. I
Right here.
Let's have a look. Why, you appear to have indeed
Yes,
found the
we have
solution.
found the
Well,
solution.
since you've proved yourself
No,
to
you're
be
reading all my
intellectually
stats.
above average, which means talking to you should do me no harm, what would you like to talk about?
Do you
We're
by
going to talk
any
about
chance know
Marcel,
who
because one of the notes we looked
is?
up while we were in the
Marcel
attic at the
was what
carriage
Josiah
house
called his
said something
favorite
about
hat.
Marcel,
His
which is
hat?
what Josiah
The
calls
man
his
named
hat.
his hat?
He
But we
loved
have to
that
ask
hat,
Topham
so to
about
him,
it
naming
before
it
we
made
can
perfect sense.
Do you
actually
still
look at it.
have Marcel?
No, as a matter of fact, I gave that hat to Gloria Crandall. She said she was fond of the old fellow and wanted something to remember him by, although I suspect the real reason she wanted that hat was
You
to see
also
if
have
he'd
to ask him
stashed
about
any
this.
money in it.
Josiah
my.
ordered something from the
We're about
Krollmeister
to get to
Crystal
the
Company
next
just before
puzzle
he
that
passed
actually
away. Do you know
It's
that
not
ever
really a
arrived?
matter of skill.
You must be talking
Actually, it's
about
not a
that
matter of
chunk
skill
of
at all.
quartz
It's a
that
matter
came
of
last
trial and
winter.
error.
I still have it right here. Why?
I was wondering if I could buy it from
So
you.
I'm gonna
or
have
from
to
my
take
father.
notes
He
during this
loves
next part
quartz.
Perhaps
to
we
get
can
through it,
work
and you're
something
probably
out.
gonna have to
You
watch
see,
a lot of
amazing
repetition.
as this is going to sound,
You're almost
I
definitely going
am
to have to
able
watch
to
a lot of
project my
repetition
thoughts into another person's
as I try to
brain.
read this guy's
Really?
mind.
The only problem is, not everyone has the intellectual capacity to receive my thoughts.
Not everyone has the
But since you have already
intellectual
demonstrated a high
capacity to
level of
receive his
intelligence,
brainwaves.
yes,
So,
you may
if we
very
fail
well
this
be
puzzle,
the
it's
ideal
really
subject.
our brain's fault for
Really?
not
You are going to help me prove that
receiving
I am
his,
telepathic. Here's what we're going to do.
psychic
I'm going to shuffle a deck which
emanations.
contains 5 sets of these cards. Then I'm going to turn my back,
This
draw
is
a
gonna go
card,
great.
look at it, and start transmitting my thoughts. When you receive
don't
my
worry,
thoughts,
Nancy will
you will
tell you
identify the card I'm looking
how the
at.
puzzle is
Once
solved
you
after a
correctly
couple
identify
failures.
5 cards in a row,
So
I'll give
I'm
you
not
that
going to
piece of
explain it right
quartz.
away.
But what if I can't do it?
Just stay focused on the cards, and my superior brain
This
power
guy
will do the
really
rest.
thinks he's
Very
hot
well.
stuff.
Let's begin.
All
What
right.
card am I looking at?
What card am I looking
I
at?
think it's this one.
Wrong. Here's another. This is which card?
What card am I looking at? This is which card? Is it a star?
This one.
Excellent. Here's another.
Ah, good.
This is which card?
This one.
Wonderful. Here's another. What card am I
What
holding?
card am I holding?
This one?
Yes.
Oh, it looks
Here's
like
another.
this is
Do you
actually.
know what card I'm looking at?
I could do this.
I think it's this one.
Very good.
It's the same
Well,
as when I
you
played
failed
it
to
on
correctly
mine.
Identify 5
Okay,
in a row.
we're gonna do
Shall we
this, and I'm gonna
continue?
get right
You
through this,
bet.
and I don't think
Ready
Nancy's
when
gonna
you
have
are.
to explain
Very well.
because I'm gonna
Let's
get it this
begin.
time.
What card am I thinking about?
What card is he thinking about? He's thinking about a star.
This one.
You
Duh.
go, girl. Here's another. This is which
This
card?
is which card? It's a star.
This one?
Excellent. Here's another. Can you tell me what
Can you
card this
tell me
is?
what card this is?
This one.
Obviously, it's
You go,
Squiggles.
girl.
I
Here's
am
another.
receiving
Which
your
card am I
phantasmic
thinking of?
energy, Topham. Which card am I thinking of? A
This
plus.
one.
Marvelous. Here's another. Which card am I thinking of?
The unfortunate thing is Nancy's
This
not
one.
going to tell you the hint
Very
before she
good.
kind
You
of
did it. Well,
tries to admit
actually,
it to him.
I did it. But in any case,
course
thank
he
you for
thinks
your
he did it.
assistance. Here's the piece of crystal that Josiah ordered. Take it. You've earned it. Well, actually, I earned it, but let's not quibble.
But Mr. Topham, I didn't really. I mean, you didn't really.
So basically,
I'm
whatever
afraid
he
that
says, however he
subconsciously
says,
you may
which
have-
card am I thinking of? Can you tell me what
Yes?
card this is?
Never
What card am I
mind.
concentrating on?
Do you need anything else?
He has 10 possible of those phrases, and there are 5 cards. So 2 of the phrases each correspond to a certain card. So usually it's a bit of trial and error, and after a couple trials, Nancy will tell you, could he possibly be sending me a subconscious message with the way he's asking? And then she says it more clearly after a couple more failures if you didn't get it the first time. But I'm just gonna leave.
It was nice talking to you.
Now that we have the
I'm
quartz,
sure
because
it
that
was.
was all we needed.
Now what?
No.
It was nice
Leaving.
talking to you.
Replace.
I knew you were going to say that. A little psychic humor.
Very funny side. Okay. Leaving now. Going back to the end. The express purpose of looking at the door. When we look at the door, my dad will call.
I guess I should answer that. Hello?
Nancy?
Dad? Oh, shoot, I was supposed to call you.
Yes, you were.
He was.
The phone company said this was the only line into the Lilac Inn now. What happened?
It's kind of a long story.
Ah,
but
yes,
what about
he's
you?
practicing for
Is
his
everything
first
okay
job.
Everything's
there?
I believe
fine.
you.
I called because I'd like you to run an errand for me, that's all.
Sure. What do you want me to do?
I need to get some documents from a colleague over there. I thought since you were in the area, you could pick them up, save him paying postage.
Sure. What's the address?
He said he'd just leave them for you at the telegraph office. Just drive into town and look for Tubby Telegrams. He said you can't miss it.
Will do.
These papers are extremely important,
Very
Nancy.
important.
I will pick them up, Dad.
Good. Remember, watch your gas gauge and get gas when you're low so you don't
Very
run
helpful
out.
tips,
And try
dude.
to avoid potholes.
Parson Drew.
The more you hit, the likely it is you'll wind up with a flat.
Yes,
Yes,
Dad.
Dad.
And if you do get a flat, take it off and put on your spare, and then head straight to a gas station and get it fixed.
Yes,
Yes,
Dad.
Dad.
All right, lecture over. Have you found out why Miss Crandall asked you to visit?
I'd rather not
I
go
am
into
not
it
going
right
to
now.
talk about it because
All
that
right,
will
but
just
in the
take up more
meantime-
time.
I know. Pick up those documents.
Yes.
That's my girl.
Goodbye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
All right, so now Marcel, that hat that Josiah gave to Gloria Crandall.
Hi, Nancy. Would you happen to know where your mother put Josiah's favorite hat?
We like to come in
Look
and
in the
ask
drawer
Emily
right
random
below me.
questions.
That's where all Mom's mementos are.
I'll be back in a little bit.
You're the best.
All right, so we're gonna look at the hat, and we're gonna get
Looks
a key.
like a safe deposit box key.
Nancy is very good at figuring things out. So,
It's like it's a detective.
however, we are also not going to go straight to the bank. We are going to actually go deliver those raffle tickets that we picked up earlier. Like I said, we're doing this in short bursts. Kind of very roundabout. Just based on what is convenient during different points of the plot.
Hi, you got those raffle tickets for me?
I sure do.
Great. And here are Mrs. Sheldon's bridge cards. One of the gals spilled Moxie all over them, but I cleaned them up real good, so let's not tell Mrs. Sheldon, okay?
Okay. Thanks for your help, Miss Jakowski.
Thanks for your help. Bye now.
So now we're gonna go back to the jeweler with that piece of quartz that we got.
Hello, Mr. Waddell.
Now what?
I need for you to cut a blank from this piece of quartz.
No big deal. Let's see it.
The blank needs to be just like the one you made before for Josiah Crowley.
Like I said, no big deal. You're gonna have to cough up $2, though.
$2
You can pay me when you pick it up. Good day.
We're gonna go to the bank right now. Not to get $2, but to talk to Jim Archer.
Hello again.
Did Josiah Crowley have a safe deposit box here?
As a matter of fact, he did. Topham has tried to claim its contents, but he can't find the key.
Could this be it?
It is from this bank.
May I see if it opens the box?
It takes 2 keys to open a safe deposit box. The owner's key and my key. And in this case, I'm under no obligation to open it for you.
Oh, but
However, were you to do me a small favor...
Sure.
I hired a seamstress to make a dress for my wife's birthday next week. Unfortunately, the seamstress and I had a falling out, and now I need to find someone to finish the dress.
Just hire a new seamstress.
Oh, the fact of the
Seems
matter
like
is, the
fishy
dressmaker quit
business.
because I couldn't pay her. I misled you before. Business is not fine. This bank is on the brink of ruin.
Oh, I'm sorry to
He was
hear
not
that,
looking
Mr. Archer.
good sorts.
I wanted to get my wife something nice because, well, it might be the last nice thing she gets for a
So
long,
we have this
long
kind
time.
of
Now,
you do a favor
Emily
for me,
once
I do a
mentioned that
favor
Jane
for
used
you,
to be a
kind of under
dressmaker.
the table
How much
shady
more
business.
has to be done on the dress?
But it's
I
fine.
have
It
it
helps
right
to solve
here.
the
The
mystery.
seamstress said that all the
So,
pieces have
we're
been
gonna sew a
cut out and
dress.
basted together. All that's needed is
But
a sewing
not
machine.
immediately.
When it's finished, bring it back and I'll let you try that key in Josiah's safe deposit box.
I guess I'll be going.
Nice talking to you.
All right. So now we're going and we're actually gonna go deliver those papers for my father, or pick up those papers, whatever it is that we need to do.
Something I can do for you?
Well, my name's Nancy Drew, and my
pick up
father
some
Say
said
no
that...
more. You're here to pick up some papers. They're in that envelope.
And this guy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This guy is
Say,
very
is that your roadster out there?
Yes, it is. Did I park somewhere I shouldn't have?
No, it's just that my regular driver never showed up today, so I've got no way to deliver all these telegrams. How would you like to earn some extra cash?
You mean you want me to deliver them for you?
You've got a
So,
car, you're trustworthy,
delivering
or at least your
telegrams.
father thinks you are, so what do you say?
I
I'll pay
used
you
I
25
delivered a
cents
lot of
each time you
telegrams when
complete
I
a
was
delivery.
in the past,
And you
'cause
might even
obviously
get
get some money. I
Okay,
mentioned
sure.
getting gas
You're
before.
hired. Here,
If you're not
deliver this
super
to Seymour
efficient,
out at
also
Blenheim
buying
Nursery.
toys and
Come
different
back when you're
things
done and I'll pay you and give you
throughout the
another
game.
telegram to deliver.
It's
Great.
good to have money.
See you in a little while.
Obviously, if you're speedrunning, you know the most efficient way to use it. I'm gonna go deliver those bridge cards, though. First thing. Get the trivet.
Do you have my bridge cards?
Right here.
Good. And here is Josiah's
But
trivet.
we're actually
I
only
didn't
going to deliver
realize
one
when I asked to
telegram.
borrow it that it was such an eyesore. But once a sumptuous dish of my buff stroganoff was placed atop it, I assure you, no one
She sounds like
noticed.
she had
Now do
way
run
too
along.
much fun
My
with
guest
this
will be
voice.
arriving any minute, and that dress of yours, it's, well...
Also, everyone keeps dissing Nancy.
I like
What's
this
up?
dress. It's very
First,
flouncy.
my brainwaves are degenerate, and now my flouncy dress is just... Why not? I wonder if there's a cow. There is a cow. We are not going down that road. But we are going to deliver that telegram so we can get our 25 cents of it. So here we go to Blenheim Nursery.
Hello, I've got a telegram for Seymour.
Just leave it on the desk there. I'd tip you, but as you can see, my hands are filthy.
What are you doing?
We were a little
I'm
misled
trying to
about
doll
the
up
tips.
some of my plants before this guy named Mr. Martin comes in. He's a big cheese at some oil company, and I'm hoping he... Ow!
Did that plant just bite you?
Also,
It did
Little Shop
kinda
of Horror
feel that
references.
way.
I think I'll be going now.
Nancy has the
Bye.
proper response. And instead of going to get our payment for that telegram, we're going to the end, since it's right there. And we are going to go check out the sewing machine, because we were just given that dress.
Is this your
However,
sewing machine?
Actually, that
if we
belonged to my
look a little
mom. She
closer,
and Jane used to be dressmakers. Mom
Would
was
it be
going to
all right
teach
if
me
I
how to
used your
use it,
sewing
but
machine?
Go right
Yes,
ahead.
we're gonna
but
interrupt the
remember,
dialogue.
You're on your own.
take it a little
There's
faster.
no needle.
The needle is
Probably in
gone,
the box with the rest
which
of Mom's
means we have to
sewing
run
stuff.
downstairs
Ask Jane if she knows where it is.
do another thing. Because, really? Really? This is what happens when you're, like, awake and around for my Nancy Drew
So,
streams.
is Emily all right?
Someone stole her mother's jewelry.
Just my commentary last year.
It was peaceful.
Did you happen to see anyone go upstairs
Not
during all the
what I meant
commotion
to
that the
ask.
fire caused?
No. You mean someone stole it while everybody was rushing
It's
around
fine.
trying to put out the fire?
It's fine, I still have the
Hypers!
same dialogue
If you can't
options.
trust a fireman, who can you trust?
A
Who else knew
fireman.
Emily had that jewelry?
When Gloria was alive, she could have told people about it, or people may have seen her wearing it. And when she died, they knew the jewelry had to be around here somewhere, right?
Does anyone in particular come to mind?
Sorry. It's been hard enough getting to know Emily, let alone anyone else in this backwater burg. Well, guess better go call the sheriff.
Would you happen to know where the needle for the sewing machine in
Also,
Emily's
if you
room
couldn't
is?
tell, the
I
game
moved
actually
all of
expected
Glory's
us to have that
sewing things out
conversation a
of
bit
there and
ago.
put
I
them
have
in a
just
little
been avoiding
box.
talking to
Look,
people
I'm
when I
supposed to get the
don't
pies we
absolutely
baked
have to.
before all the hullabaloo
So
this
that's going
morning
to come
ready
up a
for
couple
the delivery
times.
man.
Those kind
They
of
gotta be
weird,
put in the shipping
unavoidable
container
conversations
just
like
so,
that.
or he casts a kitten. This is how he wants them organized. Now, why don't you go out on
So
the
now we're
porch
going
and
to do
get
a
those
pie
pies
puzzle.
ready to go while I look
If
for that
only
sewing
it was
box?
actual
Sounds
pie.
good.
So I'm going to turn around, go outside like she said, and we're going to organize some pies. But I'm not actually going to look at the instructions she gave me because I just know what they're supposed to be. Here's some large cherry pies. Small cherry pies. We have blueberry. I am not very good at looking at both the notebook and the screen at the same time. Okay, but is that, we get it? Did we do it? Large, 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 small, 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 large, small, large, 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 small, small. Ah. There we
All
go.
done.
So now we're gonna go in. We're gonna look behind Jane's podium since we can now.
Looks like there might be some kind of tunnel around here. There's something written on the back.
Alright, and instead of going to the door in the parlor under the window seat, we're gonna come back in and talk to Jane.
Thanks for doing the
It's faster
pies.
to do it
The
this
more I do it, the worse I seem to get at it. Here's that box. I'm sure that sewing machine
There
needle
is
is
the
in
needle
there
right
somewhere.
there, very
I
clearly
see
in
it.
the middle. I'm
Remember,
sure
when
it's
it
in there
comes to
somewhere.
using it, you're on your own, kiddo.
Well, I'll talk to you later.
You
Okay,
betcha.
now we're going to go to the secret passage that was mentioned in that photograph. And here we are. Down here in this creepy tunnel that used to freak me out as a kid.
From the looks of those lanterns, I'm not the only one who's been down here recently.
And now that we've seen that photograph, we go up in here.
Jeepers, I'm behind one of the walls in Emily's
And as we can
room.
see, Emily's not in right now. If we had gone in and talked to her earlier, you know, before Nancy gets freaked out and it freaks me out. But if we had talked to Emily earlier,
Swell, $1. This piggy
before
bank looks
coming
like
down
it's been
here
here
and
for a
looking
long
behind her
time.
wall, she would have said something about how she was freaking out because the picture on her wall kept moving. And that explains why. So here we have a puzzle and this creepy thing, and the puzzle is creepy, and it's all just very, very mood-like. I don't have this puzzle memorized or anything, but in general, I have practiced this a couple times, so I sort of know what I'm doing. That's okay. This is Creepy's Corner. I was faster than I've ever done that puzzle. And here we have a record.
I feel like
Now,
someone's
Nancy,
watching
stop
me.
saying you feel like someone's watching me. It's gonna freak me out.
Guess
That's
I
the
better
thing,
not
when I was
leave the lights
replaying this
on.
game recently
Jeepers,
too,
that
we
sounds
were
like
also
Richard
playing in the
Topham.
middle of the night.
This door must open right into his living room.
Listening in on Richard Topham. We're not going to go up there right now, but that's just so that we know we can break it. When I was replaying this game recently,
Now
neither
I'm
of
hearing
us
things.
could actually remember if someone snuck up
Guess I better not
on
leave the
her or
lights on.
anything happened in the tunnel at any point. So we were actually anxious about it. Now I know that not actually gonna happen. Yes, we got the record.
Emily is gone. That means we can look at some other things in this drawer that she would have gotten onto us about before. It's a letter from Josiah to her mom. Now Nancy has important information in her brain. She has photographic memory. I mentioned that last
sew with that.
Very, very helpful. And now we're going to sew this thing, which is kind of a hit or miss for me. Probably need to slow down and not talk so much.
I better start over.
Yeah.
I made too many mistakes.
It's very easy to
I
mess
better do
this
it
up.
over.
And it's very unfortunate. It's kind of difficult to control. Also, this is definitely
I can do
not
better
how
than
sewing
this.
works.
I made too many
Like,
mistakes.
can confirm
better
I
do it
was
over.
sewing, working on that cosplay. That's one of my donation incentives, like 2 days ago.
Would I wear this? I made too many
And I failed
mistakes.
3 times.
I better do it over.
This puzzle is kind of unnecessarily picky. Untouched. It is just like that.
I can do better than this. I made too many mistakes. I better do it over.
But it's one of the things you just gotta do. I'm surprised she hasn't stopped me yet. This is pretty terrible stuff. And I actually can't control the speed of this at all. Or like turn the dress. Like I said, this is definitely not how sewing actually works. And no one would be sewing
Not
that
bad,
shaped
Miss Drew.
hem on there.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, okay, you can say that, Nancy. We're going to also put on that record that we found. If Emily had been in the room, we would have to ask her about it, but we don't. We're going to listen, except we're not actually going to listen. We're just going to assume that she heard all of that, which is fine, because that's all you need to do. And we're going back to the bank, because we have that dress done now. And we're gonna get into that safe deposit box.
How's
This
the
is
dress coming?
Very
All
plot
done.
This is beautiful. Thank you.
You didn't
Now
even,
let's
like,
see if that
check
key
to
you
look at
found
it.
opens up Josiah's safe deposit box.
It looks exactly the same as it did when he gave it to me.
That was Josiah, but
That
that
is
is not
not a will.
Josiah's will.
It looks like some kind of journal. Would it be okay if I kept this?
If it was money or jewelry or something like that,
So the
I'd
whole
turn it
point
over
of
to
the trivet
Tom.
hunt
But a journal?
was
Finders
to get
keepers as
the
far as
answer
I'm
to the
concerned.
puzzle of how to open this
I'll be
journal
at my desk
from
if you need me.
But we're not even going to look at the trivet. And actually listening to the record is the
It's locked.
same.
Naturally.
Listening to the record gives you the hint you need to use with the trivet to open this. One unfortunate thing about speedrunning this is that you can't actually see
7.025 megahertz.
you don't actually get to see and experience all of the
7.057
Midsummer Night's
megahertz.
Dream references that are throughout this game.
Frisbee.
Which of course I didn't get at all when I played through this the
It
first
looks like
time,
some
but
kind of record of the
actually in
Anything else I can do for you?
junior
guess I'll be
high I
going.
was in
Goodbye
a
now.
production of Midsummer Night's Dream and I played Puck, which if you notice the password for that journal was Goodfellow and Puck's name is Robin Goodfellow. Part of the point of this plot is that Josiah Crowley oops, I should have done that. Josiah Crowley played Puck in A Midsummer Night's Dream. We're not going to be looking at all of the evidence of that, like he has a cast picture, or he has a picture of himself with a donkey
Did you
head. You
deliver
might have
that
seen the
telegram?
donkey head
I
at
sure
the top of
did.
his house.
Good for you. Here's your money. And
Here's my
here's your
25
next
cents.
telegram. Take this to
You're
Counselor
not
Alice
going
out
to
at Camp
deliver the
Avondale. Keep up the good work.
I've only got half a tank of
Yes,
gas
we
left.
probably
I should
saw.
gas up before I forget.
And now we're going to the drawer.
Hello,
Hopefully
Mr.
I don't run
Rebel.
low on
Are you
gas
done making
because
that
of
blank?
Have you got my
smoky drawer.
fee?
it'll
Right
probably be
here.
fine.
Good. Here's the blank I cut for you. Enjoy.
Okay, so now we're heading back to the inn. But yes, there are Midsummer Night's Dream references throughout this, and there are some that you can't avoid that are obviously plot important, such as the Goodfellow password on the notebook and the stuff about Flute and Pyramus and Thisbe, as was mentioned in that notebook. And there's more. Here we're actually going to break into Topham's house. So, it only... Yes, good sleuthing work.
Guess I better not leave the lights on.
Yes, this was one thing that actually wasn't in the book, the secret
Now would be
passage,
a good time for me to sneak inside and have a quick look around.
Okay, so if you remember from earlier, we had to give the cat the toy to get it to stop yelling. But we have to do it now so that Topham doesn't catch us.
Be quiet. You're disturbing
If he
us.
does catch you, it's actually pretty scary. I had to second chance quite a few times when I played through this game the first time.
Yes, Mrs.
Okay, so there's the donkey head, by the way.
Yes.
And what we need is to look at his copy of Midsummer Night's Dream.
Josiah must have circled these quotes, but why?
Yeah.
Something tells me I better write down all the stuff that's circled here
down
in
in
my
your
journal.
Already got it, Nancy. Got it written down in my journal. So those are, that's an actual script. Let's see our thing. I'm just gonna head out. Yes, this is the picture, him as Puck. The role that I shared, which, like I said, was not something I remembered or was aware of the first time I played this game. So just kind of.
What was that?
Also, I keep running into that puzzle.
Guess I better not leave the lights on.
Okay, so now we're going to go back to the carriage house where the clock and the radio were. Where we saw those notes after setting up the mirrors. So, luckily we don't have to put in all those words again. We do have to go through the miniature cutscene thing after pulling the domino lever. And this little light thing. But then, of course, drop it down, we go up. This has been timing, but it's 1:06 instead of 12:09. Going about an hour, I think. This is gonna be faster than the last time I did it. Can't say for sure yet, though.
Looks like Josiah was a ham radio operator. Looks like I can't use the radio unless and until I replace the crystal.
Oh, right, the crystal. Always forget about that. Oh, now I have to put this back in. This thing is very slow. It kind of frustrates me.
Hello? Can anyone hear me? Speak to me. Hello?
I'm Thisbe, but only
This is kind of a weird thing. Usually you don't call Thisbe first because they're
My
not
name's
written
Nancy
down in that
Drew.
order.
I'm afraid
Nancy
I have
doesn't
some
actually
bad
call her
news about
Thisbe when she
Puck.
asks. She says, "Hello, is anyone there? Can you hear me?" If you call Thisbe like second or I think normally third would be the order you would think to call Thisbe in based on how it's written down in Josiah's notebook. She'll say, "Thisbe, are you there?"
Actually, you
And then
haven't
the
heard
line
from him
actually
because he
makes more
passed away
sense.
several months ago.
But if you call Thisbe first, it actually shortens the dialogue with the other two people that you talk to. It's kind of a weird thing. I didn't pick this up until I was watching that speed
Your
run.
cue?
Yes, you see, Puck.
Because you get extended dialogue with whoever the first person you call on the radio is.
Share his love of
And
acting with
Thisbe's
me,
is the
so
shortest.
he gave me a line to say. A very
Also, her
curious line, I
voice
might add,
annoys me, so it's probably okay that the game audio is so low for me right now.
passage written by Mr. William Shakespeare.
Thanks.
So if I cue you with a passage, you'll respond with the line he gave you to say?
Immediately. I know it by heart, you see.
Here goes. If we
If we
shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended. That you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear.
The authorities are alert for bad water, so do not go this way.
The authorities are alert for bad water, so do not go this way.
That's what I was to say, although my delivery was much better when Puck was coaching me.
So Puck told you he was an actor?
He told me that acting was his life, and that he'd gotten rich and famous doing it. No matter who he was to the rest of the world, that's what he was to me, and that's
So
how
this
I
is
want
the
to
bit of
remember
extra
him.
dialogue, and
And
hers
now,
is the
as
shortest.
Puck was fond of saying, I bid you adieu. Over and out.
I think the last person we talk to is going to be just the longest of the three.
Hello? Flute?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
there?
Pyramus.
This is Flute, but you sure
Talk
don't sound like Puck, so explain yourself.
My name's Nancy Drew.
So where's Puck?
Well, I'm pretty sure Puck's real name was Josiah Crowley, and I hate to say it, but he passed away earlier this year.
Ah, that's a shame. Heck, I never got to give him his sentence.
What sentence is that?
Well, see, a while back, Puck dictated a sentence to me and told me that if and when he
And of
recited
course,
a certain
they have
passage
to
from
explain the
Shakespeare,
thing
I was
every
to
time she
respond with
talks
that
to a new
sentence.
person.
Weird fellow, that Puck.
If I tell you the passage, will you tell me the sentence?
Well, yeah, sure, I guess. Especially seeing as Puck's no longer with us.
Shall we their fond pageant see?
Lord, what fools these mortals be.
That's it. Here, let me check my logbook for the response. Now I'm
We
supposed
missed
to
Little
say,
Shop of Horror
leave
references.
by road when the owner
Now we're
is
making
in,
Midsummer Night's
because
Dream
then there
references.
will be thieves
That's
about.
more than just a
Leave by
reference.
road when the owner is in, because then there will
Well,
be
yes.
thieves about?
Those were
This
Puck's exact words.
thing is very
Well,
blatant.
hope I've been of
Actually,
some help.
one of the games
Over and out.
that we skipped to get the word keen was Bard Bounce in the parlor. We passed by it a few times. You probably saw it with a little curtain around it. And you're like supposed to match up the couples. It's another sliding block type game.
Hello? Can anyone hear me? Speak to me. Hello?
This is
No.
Pyramus. Who are you?
My name's Nancy Drew. Does somebody named Puck usually call you on this frequency?
Yes. Darn it.
Somebody named Puck used to. Apparently he found something better to do. Haven't talked to him in months.
Well, that's because
Also,
he passed
Pyramus is
away not
always
too
like
long ago.
Oh, well, that's a good excuse, I guess.
Yeah, you get
How'd you know he called me Pyramus?
consequences for your
I'm a
actions.
friend of his. I found your name and radio frequency in his journal.
So why are you talking to me?
Did Puck, ever ask you to tell him something whenever he read a certain passage from Shakespeare?
Whenever he rattled off this Shakespeare quote, I was supposed to rattle off this stupid saying he gave
Yeah,
me.
Pyramus is not as
You know
into
about
this.
that.
Long story. But if I were to rattle off the quote, there's no reason why you can't tell me the stupid saying, right?
Well, come to think of it, he never said the quote had to come from him. So, yeah, I guess I could tell you.
Thou speakest
You're
aright.
right. I am that merry wanderer of the night.
How'd you know?
Long story. What did he tell you to say in response?
Wait a minute. I had to write it down. Here,
And as I
you're
am an
gonna love
honest fuck.
this. A barking dog
I am
would do
big
well
content.
to hold his tongue in a dangerous neighborhood.
A barking dog would do well to hold his tongue in a dangerous neighborhood.
I told you it was stupid.
I really appreciate your help.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of car did Puck drive, do you know?
I don't think he had a car.
And he tried to tell me he was rich.
Apparently he
Over
tried
and
to tell a
out.
lot of people he was rich. Okay. And here we
wonder
go.
what these symbols mean.
They are hobo speak, but we didn't actually look at the magazine that would tell us this. Okay, I'm just gonna click these in right now and then explain what I'm doing. So we were given those 3 sentences. All of these symbols correspond to brief phrases. And the sentences that he gave each person to recite correspond to this hobo picture language. This cue, bottom, was actually the one that he wrote in his letter to Gloria that we had to look up in Emily's drawer while she was gone. He said, "From the bottom of my heart," in there, and this weird sentence. And this is, you may have seen the cat by the payphone. It means a kind woman lives here. Something along those lines. Okay, so here's a board game. I have written down a sequence that will get us to the end quickly, rather than trying to play through it myself. just make it go faster. And once this board game is done, all of this stuff happens. I'm pretty sure that's not how clocks work. But now we have a golden golf ball. I mentioned we weren't going to play golf.
Ball. No doubt meant to be used on that golf course of Josiah's.
She somehow knows about the golf course. Haven't been to for this entire game. I have to look at this piece of paper. Okay.
She saw it on a piece of paper.
Maybe. But now we actually have to go to the golf course. So you will get to see a small bit of it. Even if you don't get to see
a miniature
golf course. Swell. So this is Tiny Town. This is the 6th hole. Normally, you know, if you were going to play golf, this would be, I think there's a total of 10. Actually, no. Tiny Town might be the last one. It might be a total of 6 holes. So we get a hole in one. And it does this convoluted thing to give us a hole in one down here. And look, it's another safe deposit box key. Very odd. Yeah, normally, so if you got par on this course, you could put your scorecard in there to get the toy pony. But it takes a lot of work to get par on that golf course. Going on. So now, we have to go to the bank, but we get thrown into this conversation we can't avoid.
You've got to go talk to Emily. She's in a bad way.
And we have to talk to Jane, and then she's like, go talk to Emily.
Please, go talk to her. She won't listen to me. I'm no help at all.
Except we're not going to go talk to Emily. We are immediately going to turn around and go back out and go to the bank. Deal with that safe deposit box key, because we won't actually get anything useful from Emily. Yeah, so we like haven't talked to Emily for most of this game, so all that stuff about her, you know, seeing her picture move and being paranoid and all these various things that are probably relevant to the plot, we're just kind of skipping past.
She'll be fine.
Which is fine. She only thinks she's going crazy.
Hello again.
I found another safe deposit box key that belonged to Josiah.
Impossible. Josiah only had one box,
Impossible.
and you've already opened it.
Can you tell me whose key this is?
It is one of ours. Where did you get it?
I won it playing golf at Josiah's with a special ball. I had to ace one of the holes.
Why does that sound familiar? I know why. That's what Clara always called me. Her ace
Also,
in the
this
hole.
game
That's who this key belongs
assumes
to.
you know who Clara Pickford is. We scrolled past her picture earlier when we were in the bank.
So, Clara Pickford was really Josiah Crowley in disguise.
Apparently, he loved playing tricks like
You
that
might have
on
heard
people
Emily say
and
at the
hiding
beginning of the
things
game
right
he
under
showed
their
up
noses.
to one of her birthday parties dressed as her great aunt Harriet or something. Josiah Crowley liked to cross-dress.
What this is? Gloria Dowd, now Crandall, and Jane Willoughby, circa 1912.
Jane Willoughby? That doesn't look the least bit like Jane Willoughby.
No,
that
it
is
certainly
very
doesn't.
suspicious.
I'd better get back to the Lilac Inn and have a talk with her right now.
Indeed.
Move out of the way, would you please? I'm kind of in a hurry.
You're not going anywhere until you tell me who you really are.
What are you talking about?
I just saw a picture of Jane Willoughby, the real Jane Willoughby.
That face.
It's been swell knowing you, sister.
These animations. Oh man. We gotta catch the bad guy.
I can't let Jane out of my sight.
So, I should say, that, like I said, this was the first Nancy Drew game I ever played, even though this is the 12th in the series. This was the one I got for my birthday one year. And I didn't realize that everyone you talked to was supposed to be a suspect. I thought some people were just characters. This was like the plot twist I never saw coming, that it was gonna be Jane, who was just standing there at the podium the whole time. Like, there's even a part, like if you
State line. I know. I'll take a shortcut and head her
if
off.
you talk to her at various points, and you can like accuse her of knowing about the photo behind the podium and such. But I thought for sure the whole time it was just gonna be Richard Topham because I thought he was the only suspect. But
Why couldn't you just mind your own
and
business?
ran into a pie truck.
Dear Ned, I know you'll be home from school in a couple of days, but I couldn't wait to tell you. I just solved a mystery. I figured out that Emily Crandall's guardian was really an imposter named Marion, who intercepted the letter Emily wrote to Jane Willoughby after her mom died. She pretended to be Jane not only so she could steal Emily's valuables, but so she could convince Emily that she was incapable of running Lilac Inn, and that she should sell it and split the money with her. On top of all that, I found Josiah Crowley's real will. In it, he left Emily so much money that she'll be able to hire all the people she needs to keep the inn going. He left Jim Archer a ton of money too, which means he won't have to close his bank. And from now on, he'll be able to buy his wife a new dress anytime he wants. As for Richard Topham, Josiah left him nothing. Although Topham still refuses to admit that he forged the first will and insists that he's going to contest the will I found. Dad says it's highly doubtful he'll succeed, and that he'd be better off sticking to spoon tricks. Anyway, when you get home, I'll give you all the details over a nice big piece of slightly damaged cherry pie. Wait till you hear that part of the story. As always, Nancy.
Alright. What award did I get?
7.
Sassy Detective. Congratulations on cracking the case. Been awarded the title of... Gotten a different one the last 2 times I've run through this. That's my title. Puzzle Pro for solving puzzles at lightning speed.
Great news!
And this is the preview.
See, Frank and Joe Hardy have invited me to
trailer.
help them solve a mystery. Only this mystery takes place on a train. But not just any train. A train that was found abandoned years ago in the middle of nowhere. All of its passengers
But I did finish the game.
vanished.
I finished
Some people
it
say
in
the train is
under an hour and a
juiced.
half.
Others say it's
Actually,
haunted.
under an hour and 15 minutes.
I mean, it'll be fun to finally get
Which
to
I
work
think was about
alongside the Hardy boys. But I just hope the trip we're
I don't
going
remember if I was
on
counting
doesn't turn out to
this
be,
trailer.
you know, one way.
At that point. But, yeah, so that's Secret Field Clock. It's classic. Very good. Nice mystery time. I enjoyed doing these. And that's that. I do have a little bit of time if you want to see me play golf. Do it. Alright. Wait. I don't have a save state on this computer.
Never mind.
I mean, I could do it, but I still have to go through the opening credits stuff, like cutscene stuff. Okay. And I won't do it. But you could have seen it. But not today. There was no saving at all. No time for saving. I could have saved it at any point. That's how Nancy Drew games work, but... Okay, let's fix that resolution.
Yeah, let me, I'm gonna fix the stuff.
Yes.
Real quick.
And Paxton's gonna be next.
Yeah, Paxton probably needs to be woken up. We do not need this. Do not need my resolution so low. Screen resolution. So much power. That was the most unenthusiastic response to "Are you ready to be a ninja?" I've ever heard.
Well,